Hello and welcome. Welcome to Little Likac episode 71. This is a podcast all about knitting, crochet and other yarny goodness. And it has been a few weeks, so I have got lots to show you today. Yeah, apologies that it's been a few weeks. The last time I did an actual proper podcast was pretty much a month ago, so I've got so much to show you. Then I did do like a little bonus episode a couple of weeks ago, just after I came back from the Sodbury Yarn, the Sodbury Yarn Over New Festival in Chipping Sodbury, which was amazing. Then I had planned to get another podcast done, but it just didn't happen. And I had another yarn show last weekend, which was at Alpaca Evolution, a really lovely alpaca farm near Milton Keynes in Buckinghamshire. So yeah, I have got lots to show you because the Sodbury Yarn Over video that I didn't really show you what I had been knitting on other than things I've been knitting for the show. So I've got lots of finished objects to show you today, some new projects that I've cast on, and yeah, works in progress. So plus also giveaway. Let's just do that first because I've actually got to do the giveaway today for the February Socksy and You Know It month. So because that closed at the end of March, and when I last filmed a proper podcast it was something like the 28th of March, I haven't given away the prize yet for February. So let's do that first. And I'm also going to say a little bit of a disclaimer. The last few winners have all been from Canada, which not a problem. Lovely to have viewers from Canada. Thank you very much for watching, if you are in Canada. But it is getting really expensive to send send prizes. So I have got two possible prizes for this winner. So basically, a lovely viewer, Jane, has sent me a couple of bags that she's made. They are absolutely lovely. So I'm going to use one of these bags. Look at this. This is a possible prize depending on where the winner lives. If we have another international winner, they will win this because it will be cheaper for me to post because I can put it in a flatter package, and that seems to be the problem with sending yarn. If I can send it in a flatter package. So I think this is what I'm going to do from now on with prizes. If it is an international winner, it probably won't be yarn, or not at the moment, but it might be stitch markers from me, or it might be perhaps a pattern that I can then just send them electronically, or a bag, because Jane actually sent me two bags. I'm only showing you this one today. We'll save the other one for another time. So if the winner of the February make along is international, I will be sending you this lovely bag, and it is really nice. Look, it says handmade with love. We have a nice little tag here with one of those D-rings. It's zip, it's nice and large, really pretty fabric, and really cute lining inside. So honestly, Jane, I cannot thank you enough for sending this as a prize for me to give away. Absolutely love it. Now, if it is a UK winner, they could still choose to have the bag if they would like, or they can have, from my stash, 2 balls of a Fable print yarn, sock yarn, in the colourway 903. So yeah, if it's a UK winner, they can have the yarn or the bag. Okay, but if it is, so let's do the draw. And I might not be able to tell straight away. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is the Socksy and You Know It knit along that I'm currently running all through the year. And the idea is that you cast on a pair of socks. Well, I am casting on and knitting a pair of socks every single month, so I will have 12 pairs, all for me, from mostly commercial, but not all, mostly commercial self-striping sock yarn. So what I did last November was I picked out, and that took me quite a while, I picked out 12 balls of yarn and wrapped them up, and then each month I am unwrapping one. So this is the one ready for me to unwrap for the beginning of May. So that won't be till next week. So right, so this is for the February, and I'm running it through Ravelry, not through Instagram or YouTube. So so there are 67 posts in the February finished objects thread. Okay, so I'm going to pick a number between 2 and 67. Not number 1, because that will be a post from me introducing that thread. Okay, so I'm going to ask my smart speaker to do it. I will edit out me saying the name of the smart speaker so it doesn't set all yours off. Choose a number between 2 and 67.
Here's a number between 2 and 67. It's 38.
Okay, so let's find post number 38. That will be on the second page, I think. Post number 38 is Franny from Franny Do Makes. So Franny, I know that you live in the UK. I watch your podcast and I know you live in Yorkshire, not actually that far from me really. So her finished object for the February socks were knitted using West Yorkshire spinners, the same as I had knitted in February, I think, the vintage tinsel. Or I've certainly knitted them at some point this year. And yeah, so she has won. And she is in the UK, so Franny, you can choose, okay, between the yarn prize or the bag. Let me know and message me and get in touch with me, and I will be getting that sent to you, whichever one you would prefer to have. Right, congratulations, Fran. And so let me show you then my first finished, it's not necessarily the first finished object in order, but let me show you my finished object for the April socks, the Socks You Know It socks, because I didn't really get started on these till about a week into April, because I was doing things, knitting to get other things finished for the Sodbury yarn over. Ta-da! But aren't they gorgeous? So these are not a commercial sock yarn. These are made from the Yarn Badger, one of her self-striping colourways. Isn't it absolute, aren't they? Isn't it? Isn't the colourway gorgeous? Aren't these socks gorgeous? Please excuse my homemade sock blockers. Only they're almost identical twins, just if I remember rightly, I finished one and then decided it was a tiny little bit short, so I then had to finish the second one and then go back and add a little bit of extra length to the first one. So I think that's why I've ended up with a tiny bit of blue there. It won't show when I'm actually wearing them. And I won't be wearing any of them until next year, because at the moment I'm putting them all away into a lovely box, so that at the end of the year I will have this beautiful box of 12 pairs of socks that have never been worn, and next year I will have 12 pairs of brand new socks. So yeah, absolutely gorgeous. If you want more information about this colourway, it is the Yarn Badger, and once I got started on these properly, they were done in a few days because I had so much fun knitting them up. The Yarn Badger Sofa Strategy is the name of the colourway, and they are superwash, Blueface Leicester and 25% nylon, 100 grams, 400 metres. So yeah, the colourway is Sofa Strategy. Did I already say that? Probably. Yeah, so absolutely love these, and as I say, once I actually cracked on with them, they did not take very long. And these were knitted on 2.5mm needles with 60 stitch cast on, just a vanilla sock. I'm doing pretty much all of my Socksy and You Know It socks in that way, so that they knit up quickly, and with self-striping yarn they don't need any pattern or anything, just I'm going to have 12 pairs of lovely stripy socks. So that is finished object number 1, although not necessarily the first one I finished, if you see what I mean. There are a few pairs of socks to this episode. Okay, so finished object number 2. These are a pair of socks that I knitted for this yarn show, so that I could actually show off a colourway. They're a pair of DK socks because it was the first time that I had dyed DK yarn, and so I wanted kind of a sock. To be honest, I wanted to knit a pair of DK socks anyway. I've been wanting to do that for a while, and I thought as well that way I could actually say with certainty that you could definitely get one pair out of one skein of DK yarn. And in fact I had about 15 grams left over still, I think. Ta-da! So I think you did see one of these socks last time, or part of one of these socks. Again, DK socks knit up very quickly, so it didn't take very long once I got onto them. This colourway is, excuse me, this colourway is the Lagoon. I have got 3 skeins of it left, I think, in the shop, and it is mostly blue, and it's just got some little hints of pink, just very, very slight hints of pink in it as well. So I'm really, really pleased with these. They are lovely, squishy, soft pair of DK weight socks, and I can take these to the yarn shows with me to prove that you can get a pair. Like, I suppose it's not, you can't prove that it's one skein, can you? But you know what I mean. So yeah, I used the Crazy Sock Lady for my numbers. I can't remember now. I think it might have been 48 stitches, I think, on 3mm needles. I actually genuinely can't remember. I followed the Crazy Sock Lady pattern, which is a free pattern. So if you want to know more, find her pattern. And then I did a heel flap and gusset and just my normal wedge toe. To be honest, I don't know if that's what she did in the pattern, but I just used her pattern to get the numbers of how many stitches and what size needles to use. And they are lovely squidgy socks. Right, I feel like I'm rattling through, and I haven't even introduced myself, have I? My name is Amanda. I live in Derby, and this is my podcast. Okay, so I'm sure I've got more. Yes, of course I've got more finished objects. There's this beauty to show you in a little bit. Right, another one then that I was knitting on, which if you watched the Sodbury Yarn Over video, you would have seen me working on this. And this was another sample to show off my Premier Silk yarn. It feels like this is all now like a lot of advertising, but I knitted quite a few samples of things, which is useful in it shows, because people want to know, you know, what can you knit with one skein of yarn, or what's the colourway look like. You can't knit up, when you're an indie dyer, you can't possibly knit up all your colourways unless you somebody who repeats a lot of colourways. I don't repeat colourways, not very many. I like experimenting, I like playing around, and I don't like to stress myself out trying to match a colourway. So this is the Weaver's Shawl. I can't remember the name of the designer, but she designed this as a shawl that uses one skein. It is knit. It was a really simple pattern. The reverse of it is also really pretty. And I used my Premier Silk yarn, which is 75% superwash merino and 25% mulberry silk. So it's got a lovely drape to it. And this is the colourway Feste, if you are interested, because there are some of those still in the Etsy shop. I have updated the Etsy shop now. So it's a really nice asymmetrical scarf, which is a cross between a scarf and a shawl. Now it's an asymmetrical shawl. Haven't actually blocked it. Very wearable as a nice little scarf shawl. And again though, I will be keeping this for the time being as a sample. So that was another finished object. Okay. 15 minutes in and I've already shown you 3. But that's okay, because I've also got loads of other things to show you. Right, something then that you haven't seen before, because I've cast it on and finished it in the last couple of weeks. So this was, I went online to a cast on party run by the lovely Tonya from Karma's a Stitch. Do check out her podcast. She's absolutely such a sweetie, and every so often she does like an online over Zoom cast on party where people just join in and cast on as many things as they want. I only cast on 3 things that day, and this was one of them, and I have finished it. You may remember, if you are a follower of the regular follower or regular viewer, I went on holiday to Egypt last year, and when we were in Egypt I searched for, well, I wanted some Egyptian yarn, but that didn't happen. But I did buy some yarn in Egypt, and then I bought 2 skeins of this yarn. I'm just looking for the ball band. Where did I put the ball band? So I bought 2 skeins of this yarn and then brought it home and really didn't know what I was going to do with it. So it's Elise Batik, and I think you can get Elise in this country. It's actually a Turkish yarn, and it's 100% acrylic, and I was like, I just don't know what I'm going to do with this. So I wondered if there was enough to make a baby blanket. So I've just made a small baby blanket, and this is the 12-point star baby blanket. Again, another free pattern. This one is crochet, and here it is. It's really not very big. But it would probably be big enough to go over a little baby, you know, a young baby in their car seat or something like that. So it is only very small, or in a Moses basket or something like that. So I haven't made this specifically for someone. Well, I sort of have. I've got a colleague who's having a baby, but they don't know yet what gender they're having. I'm not sure about whether I would give this if they were having a baby boy, because there is quite a lot of pink in it. So we'll see. So it's kind of just going to go into my sort of stash of, so I like to have a few, you know, possible gifts. So it'll go into that for now, and will potentially get gifted. Yeah, as I say, it's not massive. I don't think it would block out any bigger because it's acrylic. So, but you know, it could be just a useful little blanket for a baby. Right, let's talk about the big one. I finally finished it. This is my Stephen West shawl, the Glittering Snowscapes shawl, which was this year's, well, last year's, the winter, what does he call it? Winter, the Hyber knit along. The idea that you cast it on Boxing Day, 26th of December, and knit on it over the winter. So I did start on it over the winter, then it got put to one side, and then I finished it. And she is beautiful. I know you shouldn't say that about something you've made yourself, but so when you saw this last, I think I'd started on the border, and it took quite a long time to do the border, but it was worth it. So this is knitted in Little Likac yarn. So again, I wanted to get it finished as a sample to have on the stand, which I didn't manage to have on the stand at Sodbury, but I did have it on the stand at Milton Keynes at Alpaca Revolution. And it's a mixture of my luxury base, which is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. And then also it's got some sparkle base, which is 75% merino, 15% nylon and 10% stellina. So you can't see the sparkle, unfortunately, on the video, on the film, but not all of it is sparkly, just 2 skeins are sparkly, but it just picks up the light beautifully. It did get a lot of attention at the show. And I dyed these yarns especially really for this shawl, and it is just beautiful. I don't know that I could ever wear it. I don't think I'd ever wear it outdoors. Again, it will probably get kept really at the moment to go on the stall. If I was to wear it, it would be maybe something I'd put around my shoulders in the evening if I was cold. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. I did do a reel as well that I put on my Instagram, which just show, because I put it on a little mannequin that I've got. And yes, anyway, so finally finished it. So let's pop that back up here behind me. Isn't she beautiful? Right, those are all my finished objects. I'm quite surprised that I've got through all my finished objects in 20 minutes. So I hope that wasn't too much of a rush. So let's talk about what's new. What else have I been working on and what else have I cast on? Right, let me show you. Oh, actually, there was one more sort of finished object, and it was another sample. I did a sock. I've got a pattern called Amy's Socks, and the sample for Amy's socks were looking a bit tatty because I'd been wearing them, and I thought I can't put those out on display. So I just cast on in a very small size on very small needles a little mini version of Amy's socks so that I could have that on the stall. It really is so diddy. But I did finish that, but that then meant, if I can find, that then meant I then had the rest of the yarn and I've just cast on just a plain sock in the same yarn in my size, and I should have enough yarn. So again, this is in my yarn, and actually the irony is I don't have any more of this one left now because it sold out at the show. So I shall just carry on knitting with that at some point. I did use my lovely yarn holder, which was from Denise from Dear Designs. She gifted me that at Christmas, and I did use that, and lots of people admired it. So I did tell them about Denise. So yes, so I used that, and I bought some new needles while I was there actually, some Knit Pro ones. These are the ginger. They are really very nice actually. So that was another project that I cast on at the show. But it's just a plain sock to really use up the rest of the yarn. Show you that one properly. Right, that is all the finished stuff, I'm sure it is. So there's quite a lot that's been knitted on recently. So let's show you new cast-ons. So cast on party, I also decided to cast on, again this is crochet actually, another project. I was going to say, this is something that I do every year, so you, again, regular viewers will have seen these before. It is that time of year again. I am a teacher, a high school teacher, secondary school teacher, and at this time of year, or very soon, my year 11 students, my 15 and 16-year-olds, will be taking their exams. I teach English literature, I teach it at GCSE and at A level, and my GCSE students will be taking their exams soon. I have 2 classes this year. In total I've got about 40 students, and for the last couple of years I have made little worry worms to give to my students the last time I see them before they do their exam. So I've got about 40 to make this year. So I've started on them. These are left because I've still got to then chain those together and do like a little hanging loop so they can put them on to key rings, and I will embroider little faces on them. So at the moment I'm just making the actual worms. I'm just using old or oddments of DK acrylic in whatever colours I've got. I've got like a bag stuffed full of some leftovers, some balls of acrylic that I've either got, I don't know, from magazines or been given, and they're a bit, you wouldn't want to knit any garments, they're fine for toys. So yes, I've been working on those. I've got 18 done, which is pretty good. But I've only got about 2 weeks left to do the other 22. So I do need to get on with those. Oh, and these are in a bag that my mum made for me. How cute is this? So this bag, I gave her some fabric. I had a little delve into sewing a few years ago. I wasn't very good at it. But with this fabric I had made my daughter Amelia a pair of pyjamas when she was about 9. So that was, yeah, 10 years ago. And so my mum made this bag for me from some of this leftover material. So that's quite fun. So yes, worry worms are go. What else have I cast on? More socks. This time, this is a pair of socks for my daughter's friend's granddad. Yeah, so I mentioned about the pattern Amy's socks. So that pattern was from a few years ago. I knitted a pair of socks, just plain socks for my eldest daughter, and one of her friends wanted a pair of knitted socks. She kept saying my daughter's socks, so I said, do you want me to knit her a pair? And I used self-striping yarn, but I decided just to do this little pattern. And so the pattern Amy's socks were because I knitted this pair of socks for this young lady called Amy. Anyway, my daughter, eldest daughter, Eloise, said to me the other day, Amy wants to know, can she pay you to knit her another pair of socks? And I said, she doesn't need to pay me to knit her another pair of socks. If she really wants another pair of socks, that's a compliment. I will knit her another pair of socks. And she said, oh, actually, they're for her granddad. I went, oh, okay. And apparently, she lives with her granddad, and apparently her granddad loves Amy's knitted socks so much that he keeps pinching them and wearing them. So I said, right, okay, that's still fine. I will knit Amy's granddad a pair of socks. And apparently his favourite colour is navy blue. So I went to my stash and I picked out this yarn that I've got, Drops Fable Prints. And I am just doing these plain, and I'm doing 64 stitches on 2.5mm, which I hope will be big enough. And they are knitting up like this, but I am just doing them plain so that I can do them quickly, because I seem to have a lot of socks on the go, and I've got another pair of socks to knit for another person, and it will be the 1st of May this week, which means I've got to start I've got another pair of the Socksy socks to do for myself. So I've got a lot of socks on the go at the moment, and I did say I wanted to knit more socks this year, but I'm also worried that I'm going to get socked out. So I think I'm just going to focus on this pair next. Let's just try and get this pair knocked out and get them done. And then I'll cast on, because these are using 2.5mm needles anyway. So I need to, socks wise, get this pair done, then get the Socksy and You Know It pair. And those will be just the two that I'll focus on for getting done in May. And then my friend Hallie, who wants a pair of socks, she will have to wait till June. Yeah, so I am knitting a lot of socks at the moment, but I think, as I say, I'm going to put some of the other pairs to one side. So that's another cast on. I'm sure there was a third thing I cast on at the cast on party, but I genuinely can't remember what it was. There was the blanket, there was the worry worms. Let me just have a look on my project page. I do try and keep things up to date on my project page. Anything else on my project page, unless it was something else? No, don't know. Okay, so I have also got, right, so I got out an old whip. The Whitmore sweater is definitely to one side at the moment. I still haven't tried it on. And because of that, well, not just because of that, but because I was worried about it being too small, it got me thinking anyway about something that was already bugging me, which is my weight. And I don't really want to talk very much about weight because I know some people find that quite uncomfortable or don't, etc, etc. But anyway, long story short, I am trying to lose some weight, and I will go back to the Whitmore sweater, but I decided to carry on working on a garment that I started a year ago, and just work on that, getting that finished. And this is I've not worked on it for about a year, and this is the Floozy cardigan, and I thought, right, well, let's just get this one finished, and I think this will fit. In fact, actually, I've tried it on and it will fit fine, and so I thought, well, let's get this finished because it's a summer weight cardigan anyway, and if I do lose weight, it'll be too big next summer, so let's get it finished for this year. So last time you saw this was just before I'd split the sleeves, and you can probably see there is a line there where it was on the needles for nearly a year, but hopefully that will block out. I do have a stitch marker, so all I'm doing at the moment is back and forth stocking stitch. That's as much as I've done in about the space of a week or so, actually, and the plan is just to work on this. I'm going to be exam marking soon. Once I start exam marking, I find it very difficult to focus on anything complicated after I've been marking for the evening, and I want an hour or two of knitting. I just need something really simple. So I thought this would be a good thing if I haven't finished it, and then actually I might pick up the Whitmore and just carry on with the stocking stitch on that as well. So I just need easy projects. I have also got a cotton short sleeve top, which again would be good to get finished for the summer, which is mostly stocking stitch. It has got a very small little bit of pattern in it as well, so I might pull that out to get that finished as well. So I decided, rather than starting any new garments, I've got 3 garments on the needle, so I'm going to focus on getting those finished, and then we'll see about starting any more. So I'm knitting this in Debbie Bliss Rialto, I think it is. Debbie Bliss Rialto 4-ply. I bought this from a shop a couple of years ago, and it was when they were selling off all of their Debbie Bliss at a reasonable price. I think it was about half price. And it is looking really pretty. Probably goes quite well with this pink t-shirt, doesn't it? So I know this is going to fit. We've still got the button band to do, which will give it a little bit more width as well. And I love the colour. It will have it won't have very long sleeves because I haven't got a huge amount of this green yarn for what so I think the sleeves will just be down to the elbow, and I will probably do the ribbing. Well, I'm definitely going to do the ball band in this teal. Potentially the ribbing on the sleeves might even be done in this teal, or at least finished off in the teal. So I am having to watch and sort of work out the yardage that I've got. But it's knitting up not quickly as such. Because it's 4-ply fingering weight yarn, so it's not going to knit up quick, but I feel like I can crack through it at a reasonable pace now. And yeah, I'm actually quite motivated to have that finished for the summer. Sorry that you keep getting close up of my grey hair. So I think that might be all the current whips that are actually active at the moment. I do need to show you some acquisitions though. Let me firstly show you some of the acquisitions from Sodbury Yarn Over. Because when I did the video, I talked about acquisitions but never really got a chance to show you. So firstly, Mandy from Mouses Makes podcast gifted me a lovely pouch for holding your yarn in. Similar idea to the wooden one from Denise. So it's beautiful. This is made from leather, and her husband Dave makes these. So you put your yarn in there. You can put quite a big ball of yarn in there as well, and then you can again hold it over your wrist. And Mandy sells these, I believe, through her Ko-fi shop. So that's Mouse Witch yarns. So it's such soft leather, it's really soft. So that was just such a lovely gift. So thank you so much, Mandy. She also gave me a badge as well, which I'm hoping, yes, I have got her little badge. Look at this. How adorable is that? The cutest little badge. So I feel quite honoured to have that. So yes, I got those, and like those were given to me. I also got a needle cozy, which actually this fabric matches the bag of a needle, of a yarn bag, project bag that I bought last summer, but now I can't find the project bag, which is so blooming typical, isn't it? Anyway, this was made by Pickle Lily, who had a stall near me. So I bought this DPN cozy, and I also bought from her this, I don't know what she calls them, I Spy bag. Now this is going to be for my niece's daughter, my great niece, but I don't like to say that out loud. And these are fabulous ideas. So Jo from Pickle Lily, that's her business name, she was a primary school teacher. So not only does she make beautiful things for knitters, she also does a few children's sort of toys as well, this being one of them. And the idea with this is that it's filled with rice, and then there are lots of little things that you have to try and find, and in fact it shows you on here all the different things that you need to find, and then on the back they're all linked to stories. So can your child tell the story? If you find the pumpkin, the story of Cinderella. If you find the pig, Three Little Pigs, etc. And I just thought that was absolutely adorable, absolutely adorable. So I bought that from Jo. And then, now I'm really bad at remembering this lady's business name, but the stall opposite me, I think it was Cat's Crafty Bits or Craft, I'll put it down below. Anyway, set it on here. Crafty Cat Knitty Bits, and she had got some needle stoppers that I just loved. So firstly I got these gorgeous moo cows, because who doesn't love moo cows, especially Highland moo cows. So I got these moo cow needle stoppers, and then I got some alpaca needle stoppers, because we all love alpacas, or I do anyway. And then these because they're purple and they're lovely. So I can start to use these now. I've not used any of them because I've been keeping them safe to show you. So those were my goodies that I bought from the Sodbury Yarn Over. It was a fabulous show. They have now confirmed that they are going to do it again, and in fact I think they have announced the dates as well for them. So that's just brilliant. Hopefully I will be there again next year. Hopefully I'll also be at Alpaca Revolution again, because they're saying that they will do it again. It was such fun. Right. I keep saying right, and I'm really sorry if it's annoying. One last acquisition that I'm going to show for today, and two more acquisitions to show. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago I was up at Nibbles, Needles and Hooks, which is one of my local yarn stores, and you may know that I really like going up there and enjoying the cake and looking to see what yarn she's got in. And she'd got this new one that I had, it was new to me anyway, I think it's been around a little while, but relatively new. It's called King Cole Harvest DK. And look at these colours, absolutely beautiful. Knits up in quite big thick stripes. So I've actually bought 4 balls of this, which is about 2,000 metres. So yes, that's 2,000 metres I've brought into my stash, but I am still, though, I'm not trying to use up all my stash or anything like that, but I'm trying to use more stash than I buy, and I'm still way ahead of that, so that's okay. So it's all right that I bought this. And my plan had been to do a cardigan, and then my friend Sarah, I think it was, had said that she's used this yarn and she'd used it to knit this, is it called the long line cardigan, which is actually designed for 4-ply weight, but she said that this knits up quite thin, which surprised me. Anyway, so soft. So I think I may well do the same. It's by Andrea Mowry. No, it's not. By Hoki Locatelli. And she had a birthday discount on her pattern, so I bought the pattern. So I'll swatch. Yes, I will. I will swatch. If I'm not getting the right gauge with it, I'll do a different cardigan in this. But I've certainly got enough yarn to do quite a big cardigan. So, look at the colours, isn't it gorgeous? So I've got 4 balls of that, and it was really reasonably priced. I mean, it is 100% acrylic. We're not talking, I think it's 100% acrylic. Oh, it's 90% acrylic, 10% alpaca, but they're 150 gram balls, 150 grams, so you get about 500 metres on it. Yeah, 500 metres on each one. So I've got plenty there. I've got over 2,000 metres, so I can do a massive cardigan, nice long cardigan for myself. And then the very last, it says looking around to double check. Yeah, no, the last acquisition I've got. I bought this from Alpaca Revolution. So the actual alpaca farm themselves had their own little stall. Now they had got some hand spun from their own alpacas, but there was nothing there that really kind of grabbed me. But they were also selling alpaca yarn from UK Alpaca Association, which they do send their fleeces to. So I was like, well, I'm just going to pretend that we know that this yarn was from your a fleece from your alpacas. They are a massive alpaca farm, though, to be fair. They do send more alpaca fleece than any others. So statistically speaking, there's a chance that this could have been from one of their alpacas. Anyway, they've got some kits, which I thought were really lovely, and they've got one of these knitted up, and I just thought it was beautiful, and the colour as well. So it's this beaded fingerless knits, absolutely gorgeous. Then using this yarn, which, let's see if I can turn it, excuse the crunkling. Can't turn it around to tell you which one it is. It's the Luxury Alpaca. Is it 100%? I can't. It's the Luxury Alpaca Baby, I think it is. Anyway, so it's 50 grams of that, and then in this beautiful purpley colour, and then you've got the beads as well. So, and the pattern. So yes, so I thought that was a really nice kit, and I intend to make those. That is all that I've got to show you, that I can remember anyway. So I've kept that down to 45 minutes, which I'm really surprised, because I thought, but maybe I've gone through it a little bit too quickly, who knows. So yes, if you'd like to join in with the Socksy and You Know It make along, the next podcast I do, which should be in 2 weeks' time, I will be giving away the March ones. Yes, because that will close, the March thread will close at the end of April. If you've cast on a pair of socks that's the 1st of April, you can put those in the finished objects thread for April right up until the end of May, and so on, and so on, and so on. I hope that makes sense. It is on Ravelry. If you cannot access Ravelry, please email me your finished object, and I can put that in the Ravelry thread for you. Email addresses, things like that, are all in the description box below. If you enjoyed the podcast today, then please like it and give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you would like, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And I think that's it, really. Yeah, I'm sure there was more things to talk to you about, but I have been filming a few other little bits that I'm hoping I can put up during June, when I'll be really busy with the exam marking, so I'd like to try and get something up in June still. So I'm filming a few other bits for that at the moment as well. So if you've seen anything else on my Instagram and you're thinking, oh, she's not talked about that, I'm sure you don't stalk me that much, but or pay attention that much. But that might be because I'm saving it for a video that I'm doing, a separate video that I'm doing. Okay, right. Oh, one other thing, shop thing. Advents will not be listed till the 1st of July. I always list my advents then to coincide with Christmas in July and for a few other reasons. So I know lots of dyers have already released theirs. I will be releasing mine 1st of July. Again in June you'll start to see a few mood boards coming up and a few things about it. So yeah, if you're interested in my advent, that's when that will be. Right, okay, I'm going to leave it there and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.